Hi kids, we're here to tell you more about the legend of King Arthur and his knights. Have you ever heard of King Arthur? Have you ever heard of the Knights of the Round Table? Let's go to medieval England then. The legend of King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table has existed for over 1,000 years. Its most famous creators were Geoffrey of Monmouth and Sir Thomas Malory. In the 12th century, Monmouth wrote a book about British history, and in the 15th century, Sir Thomas Malory wrote Le Morte d'Arthur. King Arthur and his knights never really existed. They're purely figures of legends. However, Arthur is based on real persons. Arthurius, a Roman British general of the 5th century, and various Celtic leaders of Roman times and the Middle Ages. The legend is composed of ballads and books, telling stories of quests, magical tales, love, etc. You mean it's like an old-school version of a soap opera with wars, adventures, death, treason and love? Well, kind of The Young and the Restless, meeting Game of Thrones, meeting the Bible, meeting Grecian mythology? Yes, that's why it remains so popular today. You can adapt it to films or cartoons. Well, thank you for this explanation. Let me tell our friends about the main story inside the legend. Arthur was the son of Uther Pendragon and Lady Igraine. But there was a problem. Uther was in love with Igraine, but she was already married to another man. So he asked Merlin to give him a potion so he would look like Igraine's husband. He made love with Igraine and Arthur was born in Tintagel in Wales. But Uther had promised Merlin to give him the baby after his birth. So Merlin took baby Arthur and gave him to a knight called Ector. When Arthur was old enough to be Sir Ector's squire, he went with him to a tournament, but lost his sword. He found a sword in a stone that nobody could pull out. The legend said that whoever pulled the sword from the stone should be the king of all Britain. And of course, because Arthur was the son of Uther, king of Britain, he managed to pull the sword out and became king of Britain himself. Then, to assert his powers, he asked knights to join him at his court of Camelot around the Round Table, like Sir Launcelot, Sir Galahad, Sir Percival, Sir Gawain, Sir Mordred, and many more. But one day Arthur broke his sword, so a magical lady, the Lady of the Lake, gave him Excalibur. Then Arthur married Lady Guinevere. King Arthur and his knights waged wars against local lords to unify Britain and went on adventures and quests. Finding the Holy Grail was the ultimate one. The Holy Grail is said to be the last glass in which Jesus Christ had drunk, and the glass in which his blood was put after his death, giving immortality to whoever would find it. The Knights of the Round Table embodied the values of chivalry, like honor, loyalty, valor, and honesty. But Lady Guinevere fell in love with Launcelot, and the two embarked on a romance. This love triggered wars among the Knights of the Round Table, those supporting Arthur, the others supporting Launcelot. Mordred, who was a Knight of the Round Table and Arthur's nephew, took advantage of the situation to take power. Mordred and Arthur finally fought, and Mordred fatally wounded Arthur, but Arthur also managed to wound Mordred, and the two of them died. Arthur was then taken to Avalon, a magical country. In the end, Guinevere felt so guilty that she became a nun, and Launcelot became a priest. The Knights of the Round Table all separated. Well, I hope you like this story and that you now know more about the legend of King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table.